Okay, we're going to go on with the program a little bit. We stopped out with Danny coming to Chicago. He was already the father of two when he came to Chicago in 1950. He lived in the historic Bronzeville community area near 47th. Oh, okay, I thought they were talking to me. Well, again, it says here, I went a little bit ahead here. When plan is made for him to gain love of his life and join a Nathan God apartment. And she came to Chicago on September 23rd, and on September 24th, she delivered a baby the next day. And as we all know, Nathan's always worked hard. He's always worked overlapping jobs. He worked at a meatpacking company. He worked construction at a meatpacking company. He said he made glue from pork guts. And then he went into construction, where he worked there for 17 years. Next, what we'd like to do, I'll read more of his history here, but next what we'd like to do is have a poem by Shantia Kindle, followed by a poem by Samantha and Yoruba. Shantia?
Hi everybody. This is a speech dedicated to my grandbaby. They say you're never really important until you die. Well then, Granddad, guess what? You're not dying. And I'm here to tell you, you are important and greatly appreciated to us all. There is no one here that can say you haven't done one thing for them. We're all gathered here today to celebrate you and your lifelong service to your family, the city of Chicago, and the town of Markham. You will be making 80 years young soon, and that's enough to say you've seen it all. According to the Bible, living to be 80 and over is a great accomplishment and a life well lived. You've been married for over 50 years and has had children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. We are all here not only to celebrate your birthday, but to honor you and say how much we appreciate all you've been and done for us. You are a remarkable man, and any person who has met you will say that we are all truly blessed to have you, and we are. I can't remember a time where I've needed something or had an event and you weren't there. I know that if I can't count on anyone else, I can count on you. Thank you, and you're the greatest granddad ever.
We are going to read a poem called A Poem for You. There are never many words to explain a special person, but there are always those memories and things that we'll never forget. If there's an award for the most special grandfather in the world, you will surely receive it.
You not only help your family, you help all who come into contact with you. There's never a problem you can't fix. There's never a person that you won't help.
So for you on this special day, Granddad, this is a poem for you. Thank you.
Now, our youngest grandchildren, which are the boys, would like to do a poem and a salute to Granddad. Antiquae, Malcolm and Michael, and Nehemiah. You're up, boys.
So much for fixing my body and such.
I need you guys to talk louder all at one time. Hold the mic. Ready? Let's read it together. We love you
so much.
We love you very much for fixing our life as such. You are the man with the life plan. We will work hard and play with our Teddy because of you, when we get 80, we will be ready. Happy birthday, Granddad.
Okay, what we'd like to do right now is we'd like to acknowledge some of the people that are here today. The Jacksons, where are you? These are cousins from Chicago. Who are you? Who are you? Lucille.
Robert.
Andrea and her husband. And Gwen and Louise. These are our cousins from Chicago. We grew up with them. So we have lots of pictures, a lot of good times and memories with them.
Absolutely.
They're probably the largest group here, besides us. We'd like to acknowledge some of David's friends that worked with him for years. I imagine they would like to have something to say. We'll start here. Just who are you and how you know Dad? Name.
I'm Homer Abington. I'm sure that up until today, nobody even knew that I was Stephen's father. So, you know, anyway, I'm Stephen Abington's father, also Sheldon Abington's father. Steve and Al have been friends ever since they went to high school. And I've known Al for many, many years myself. As a matter of fact, he and I helped to get our future president elected to the Senate. And I'm so glad and truly proud that he invited me here today, and proud to have met his parents finally. Ironically enough, I never knew until today that he had brothers and sisters.
Okay, let's go over here. Who are you? How you doing?
Fine, and I'm Callaway, Johnny Callaway. I made him what people said to me. I learned how to do electric. I started teaching him over the phone. So,
Teach him over the phone how to do what?
do electric work. So he did electric. He came back and he said, boy, that don't work. So we've been tight ever since.
How many years has that been?
About 4 or 5 years. No, like 12 years. No, 12 years. I'm talking about
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Philip Welch. I'm a cousin of Nate's, and I'm just privileged to be here and share in the festivities. Happy birthday.
Hello, my name is Ernestine Safori, and I'm just a friend of the family sister, Kindle. I've known some of her children, Evelyn and Rita, and some of their children. And I'm just excited to be here today, and I thank you for inviting me. This is a real important.
I've always said good morning, good evening, and how are you doing, Mr. Kendall?
You know what, it's good to see everybody get their blessings and their flowers, because sometimes you don't get them until it's too late. But Mr. Kendall, as long as I have known him, has been a person of integrity, and no matter what happens, he always knows you. And he you know, with this, I know that God has blessed me today to be here 80 years and don't look like you're 80. It's
door neighbor. I've already been warned, Mrs. Kendall, not to say what I said at your birthday party, you know, about the families. So I'm not gonna say it, but you know where my heart is, right, Dee? That's right. And Tyrone. Okay. So anyway, happy 80th birthday, Mr. Kendall, and many, many more. Joy says that too, but she can't talk.
Rita.
Come on. Happy birthday, Mr. Kendall. Where you get all that energy from? When you sell in the snow and regularly, I just don't get it. I'm younger than you, and I just don't have that energy.
That keeps you alive.
Okay, Mr. Kendall, I hope you have many more.
Rita. I hate to break up your rhythm. I hate to break up your rhythm, but Mrs. Bibb, when he moved in next door, he was the coolest neighbor next to Joy, that moved in. So he moved in all cool. He looked like he was another high schooler. He popped in, put his feet up, I went over his house, hung out with him. He said, you know, man, I wasn't gonna be here a short minute, I'll be here 6 months and we out of here. You know it's been over 30 years ago? So we're glad to have you as a neighbor still. All right.
Wow. 3 years.
33. You said you're gonna be there 6 months?
Nate, wasn't going to speak, but I was sitting here thinking about my grandmother and my grandfather.
You're right, you're right.
And I know that they would be here with you.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you on behalf of my grandparents for what you meant to them and how you still are taking care of them even now today. I hope this be the specialest day that you've ever had in your life. I understand this is your first birthday party. I hope you remember it for the rest of your days.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nate, I would just like to say this. You gave me my first kitchen machine. And table set. I would also like to say to you that I love you very much. You and Miss Erdine are very special to me. Going back to what Andrea said, it does bring memories back. But we're going to push on a little bit further, and we're going to say happy birthday to you. And I love you, baby.
Good.
Dave, I just want to tell you that I love you. Ever since I can remember was you and Jose. And I just appreciate everything that you and the family have done for us. And once again, have a happy, happy birthday. And I hope you have many more. God bless you.
Thank you.
Nate, I'm one of the youngest sons of the Jackson, but it's only 2 of the boys that's left. And during the times when my mother and father would go, Miss Erdine, to pick the vegetables, that was me. See, you can't take the country out of the city, but you bring the city to the country. And I've been country all my life. It's because to blanch food from the ground, you got to go and pick it first. And when you got pickings like this, a tree, and the branches, and the trunk, this is what you call God-given time that human beings deal with, but God does not. And in the 80 years that you have been here on this planet, you've been a father, a brother, a sister, and a mother to so many generations of us, even some of us that don't know each other. It's a lot of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God has a time to bring everything under change. And even though some of the faces I studied growing up the ladder because look at our children. I'm talking about the branches, but they all came from a tree. See, when you got a tree that bring and yield forth good seed, this is the outcome of that tree. So know that God always been with this family. This family has come through a many hard times, but it was smiles, it was tears, and it's still a whole lot of love. And when you look at the love at this table right here, these two people, if my mom and dad was here, they'd be sitting right on side. But to see the younger generation come up and pushing up these other branches, you know when leaves sprout, you gotta make way for some more that's coming behind you. Right. But it all starts with you. Right. So I say, love, and life, and live life to love, and I hope you get old as one with still skin slept. From the heart. I love you, and I love you.
I'm this neighbor down the street, Mr. Lewis. I didn't know him too well, but I know his wife and all his children. I pass by the house, and I see him out there in the yard by his truck, his station wagon, sometime when I pass coming home. And I just want to say happy birthday to you. And I know most of, I think I know all his children. My children grow up with lots of them. And I wish y'all all the blessings of the Lord, many more. Happy birthday to you.
Mr. and Mrs. Kendall, this is truly an honor to be here, celebrate Mrs. Kendall's birthday. Yes, my name is Eileen Jones now, not Eileen Lewis. I did grow up with Adolphus, Tyrone, Dean, and all of them. Grew up just, well, I used to date Adolphus. I thought I was going to be one of the Kendalls. But it's truly a blessing. God has truly blessed you, Mr. Kendall. And with my prayers and my family's prayers, we pray that the Lord will continue to bless you with many, many more birthdays to come. God bless you.
Mr. and Mrs. Kendall, I just want to say thank you for having me here today to witness 80 years of celebration. Okay, I'm David Brown, and Mr. Kendall and I worked at the Chicago Public Library for many, many years. Mr. Kendall is like a father to me. I remember many times Mr. Kendall, things go wrong, Mr. Kendall right there with an encouraging word. Car goes wrong, Mr. Kendall right there, hey, let me take a look at it. Okay. Mr. Kendall was always there for me, and he is like the father of the library system. And we thank God that you're here for 80 years, Mr. Kendall. I love you, I have faith in you, and I appreciate you. May God bless you.
Okay, we're going to keep the program moving because our time's getting short.
Cameron.
We have a, how well do you know me? Cameron and Pamela Lynn. These are my grandchildren. I know I look too young. Thank you. So guys, you got these little cards there. You got to help us out here. Help them out.
Good afternoon. My name is Karen Lynn. I'm 11 years old, and I'm an honor roll student at South Harbor Academy in Ypsilanti Township, Michigan. Mr. Nate Kendall is me and my two sisters' great-grandfather, and he's just that, a great-grandfather. You should have questions on your table with, let's see how much you know Mr. Nate Kendall. Does anybody know what his favorite color is?
Yell it out.
No, Miss Green. Does anybody know his favorite type of music?
Blue. Both.
Type of music.
Yes, yes. Does anybody know his favorite flavor of ice cream?
Strawberry.
It's
He researched these. Remember, I was asking questions.
Does anybody know his favorite restaurant?
Wait a minute.
Go too fast.
How about his very first car? A 1941 Buick four-door sedan. Does anybody know his favorite sport?
Basketball.
It's basketball. Does anybody know how many of his 6 children have college degrees? All of them. And does anybody know what year he was born? 1927. Does anybody know where he was born? Where he was born? That's right.
Okay.
Does anybody know his favorite dessert?
Ice cream. Chocolate cake.
Chocolate chip.
Pound cake. Does anybody know any of his favorite foods?
Sweet potatoes.
Macaroni and cheese.
Side salad, croissants, rice, and fish sticks. Does anybody know his favorite beverage? Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. Does anybody know his favorite make of car? It's Toyota. Does anybody know what year in Illinois? Thank you, Kathy.
Okay, I think that was all of the questions. Camera, nice job, Camera.
Good evening. We'd like to bring up the youngest boy. I would like to remind him, Tyrone Kendall, as he sits there in a three-piece suit. He thought it was Michael Jordan when he was young.
Wait, call you the youngest, he didn't call you baby like I do.
That's right. We gotta do a toast. Now, I guess we don't have any champagne. So you're gonna have to use the glasses that you got. But the important thing is, we're ready to send a lot of love across this table. And Big Daddy Tyrone will take care of it.
Well, it's going to be a little different toast. Actually, the toast to Daddy's life is actually, we are the toast to his life. and the impact he has had on us and all of our lives. And when I think back and look at all the sacrifice that Dad has made, you know, us growing up, and the impact he's made on me as I raise my kids and I work the work ethic. I mean, it's, Daddy, you are the toast. We're the toast. We're the fruits of your seed and what you've done. And the impact has just touched so many people. So I just want to say thank you. I love you. And the impact, the work ethic, what I've learned from you has really made an impact on my life. And I hope that when I'm 80 years from now, I can look back and hope that I can have the same impact on other people's lives as you have. So toast to Daddy.
Now you're talking about work ethic. I think Daddy worked 4 jobs for about 40 years. He'd get up like at 4 a.m. when he was in construction and drive to DeKalb to do construction, come back to Chicago and go to a part-time job. And leave that part-time job and go to another part-time job. So he probably did that for about 30 years or more. 40 years. Work a full-time job, go to a part-time job, go to a part-time job, 7 days a week. And there was a time he didn't want my mother to work. And they talked about that. They thought I would sleep. And he didn't want her to get a job. And he was already working like 20 hours a day. And she said, "Are you crazy? I'm going to get a job because what are you going to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? You're not going to die and leave me with all these kids." So she got a job. Like I said, he was already working 20 hours a day. 20 hours a day. And by the time you get home, it's like 3 a.m., you go to sleep about 2 or 3 hours, he's up and ready to go again. And we had to encourage him to retire from all those part-time jobs in 1999. Because he was still working. He didn't want to quit those jobs. It's like, "Daddy, why are you working all these days, 7 days a week? You don't have to. We're all done with college. We're all grown. Why are you working?" And it's not unusual, like, to drive up to Wisconsin where Michael was in school. He'd get off of work, pack his car, he and Mama, drive to Wisconsin, take them a little package of food, or work on the car that they had. He'd get off work, drive there, work on the car, deliver their care package, and come back ready for work the next day. Get off from work, drive to Monroe, Louisiana, come in like at 2 o'clock in the morning, have an hour of sleep, 2 hours, get up, drive to Louisiana by himself. Mama didn't drive sometimes. And so that's his work history. Always working 40 hours a day and to provide for his kids. And like one of the part-time jobs he had, he would tell me, like, this money from this job is for Michael. The money from this job is for Dean. The money from that job is for Tyrone, and the money from this job is for Al. So we had the money set aside for everybody, for their school, and for their tuition, so they could go to school. And everybody had a car. So he had to work, keep all those cars working and running. 7 cars at one time. And he always made sure my mother had a car. He said, "You know, she likes a big car." So he always showed the credit union. And he put money aside, like 1 or 2%. So every 3, 4, or 5 years, he'd have money in the credit union, which he didn't touch, to buy her a car. Because, you know, she likes a big car. And he wasn't going to have her driving a used car. So I always put money aside so she could have a new car and didn't have to worry about her car breaking down. So that's his work history.
Before I get going, is there anyone else who would like to say something, some dedication, some words, before we get started? I know it's 3:30, but I got a special person here, Jackson. But Dean's not said anything. I haven't heard from anything from Evelyn. Dean and Evelyn, will you come up?
Hello, everybody. I'm on the Jackson side of the family, Gwen Jackson. Kind of like the baby of the bunch, but always the eager one. Nate, I want to say to you, you know, you gave me my inspiration. I think I couldn't have been no more than about maybe 16 years old. You introduced me to working in the metro area of Chicago, downtown, and actually that became a stepping stone for me to really want to get out here and be a corporate girl. I do owe that to you, although I've never said it to you. I'm really glad that I've had the opportunity today to say that to you. It allowed me to be able to open up many other doors and to venture off on many other avenues that I thought I could never, ever be able to take advantage of. So I just want to say thank you to you. I love you with all my heart. You're a great motivator, father, inspirer, hardworking man, and I hope to live to see 80 years and be as fine as you.
As we're getting our presentation together, Dean.
Daddy, I want to thank you for everything you've done. You always made sure we had cars. Even when I had my children, after I had Kimberly, I was on bed rest. We didn't have any visitors, and when I was in Cincinnati. And I remember you and Mama got in the car and drove up one afternoon, brought me what I needed, and drove back to Chicago. And this was later on, and you were a lot older, so you were still working it for us. You come to their graduations, you come to Kyla's graduation, or Camille's, you drive all night, or you make sure you made it there, and you still went to work, and you didn't have to because we're all out of the house. I really appreciate you, and I love you for that.
I'm Cliff Phillips. I'm Dean's husband. I met Mr. Kindle during spring break of 1976. Dean and I will be married 30 years this coming July. Praise God. Praise God. But Mr. Kindle, ever since then, he's always been an inspiration, an encouragement. He's been strength. He's been those words that will just help you along the way. He's just been a strong help, a strong hand in every way. I remember the times I came home to bring his daughter home for breaks. He would be right there like Mr. Goodrich, ready to change the oil in my car and just do all kinds of things and just check the car out and look it over and make sure that everything was just right. I'm sure because I was carrying his daughter a prize package. So he made sure that she was safe, and in turn he made sure I was safe. But he really took care of, not of course just me as a son-in-law, he treated me like a son, but the way he took care of his entire family has been a way of letting me know, besides my father showing me also, that it's an additional way to see that men, particularly black men, take care of their families, which is a rare commodity nowadays. So, Mr. Kendall, you are definitely an example to many. I wish every black man in the world would know you for who you are, because you are a true light and a true force, a true positive man, and a true example of what a man ought to be and what a father ought to be and what a husband ought to be. And just to say good things about you, it's not fair not to say anything good about Mrs. Kendall, because she's right there by your side. She's right there by your side to take care of those children. When you were working and laboring and providing for your family, she was right there, waiting, taking care of your other prize packages, taking care of home. So Mrs. Kendall, thank you. Mr. Kendall, thank you. I love you both. God bless you. May God continue to keep you and care for you the way He has, and may you have many, many, many more. And again, just can't love you enough. God bless you. Thank you.
As I mentioned before, I actually just met Mr. Kendall today, and I've known his son now for, I'd say, for the last about 35 years. But sitting here and listening to the glowing tributes that are being heaped upon him, I cannot help but be proud and very pleased that I was invited here today to meet them, to meet their family. Now, I celebrated my 76th birthday a few days ago. It was like Sunday. So hopefully, when I hit 80, if I do, that somebody will say at least one nice thing about me.
Mr. Hamilton has been like a stepfather to me, particularly through my political activities. Next, we're going to have Rita and Michael, and then Dion, and they all coming up. Evelyn? I'm sorry, Evelyn. Michael?
I want to take a moment to say, Daddy, thank you. He's always been there, regardless to what you need. All he's called, when we were away at college, he'd say, what you want, because that's the only reason you call me is because you want something. And you know he'd be right, because when you call on the phone, you need something. But he's a dad that all you got to say is, I need. And as long as you're struggling trying to improve yourself, he say, I will be there for you. I have a special thank you for my dad because all of you know that my husband has died. And he has been a father to my son.
Dad, I want to stand here. I want to say thank you for everything you've done for me, my family, and for all those people that you have touched in your life. I've watched the setback and watched my father step into different people's lives and contribute without, he gave of himself tirelessly. And I wanted to thank you, Dad, for helping me and to be a great father figure to my children and to many other people. When you look out there today, there are not that many individuals, black or white, that can stand in his stead. Dad, I want to present you with this award of knowledge because you demonstrated it's just not how much money you make, but it's how you give of yourself to you, to your family. I watched him sacrifice to make sure my mother had a car. Whether she said it or not, he knew she needed one. He made sure she got it. As Ellen said, whenever you needed something, you could have been a bad kid. He said, hey, all right, but you got what you needed. When I look out there, when we look out there are many families that don't even have a father that will even give them a little of what they have, or will even impart to other people and try to help them along the way. They're all about themselves. He gives love. Daddy, thank you.
We're here on behalf of the grandchildren. I want to thank you for everything that you've done. I remember when I was little, you'd always, Mama and my mom would send me to bed, and you'd come home, and I'd sneak out of bed, you'd let me eat ice cream, I'd get sick, and they didn't know why I was sick, and I never told anybody until now. So, and when I was in college, you made sure, even when I didn't want to go back, you rode me down the highway and made sure I was there, got into my dorms and everything. So I appreciate everything that you've done for me, my children, and for the family. And from the grandchildren, this is just another trophy for you. Reciprocation of appreciation and show you how much you love me.
Yeah, we were born from a grandfather. So I just want to say really quick, I haven't said anything all day, but this is my grandfather. I'm the daughter of Herbert Denny and Clifford Phillips. And I have two younger sisters, Camille and Kimberly. And I came out of college in '02. I came to Chicago from Cincinnati, which is where I'm from. And maybe I came here because my grandparents or my family was here. So I went to school up north, and no matter what I needed, he always came up. And this is after he raised all his kids, had several grandchildren. And then when I graduated, he helped me get my car when I started my first job. I drove 65 miles one way, and he made sure I had a car within a week of starting my job. He made sure my parents didn't have anything to worry about. He made sure I had my driver's. He made sure I took my driver's ed in high school. Made sure I had my driver's license. And he did it for me and all my two younger sisters as well. So he always made sure that everyone in the family was taken care of, from his kids to his grandkids to his great-grandchildren. So I want them to know that I love them and I appreciate them. And I know I let them know every now and then, but I want them to know in front of everyone that we love him and everything he's done for us. Like I told even my friends know my grandfather. He gives